Alright, I'm back with some more Kingdom Hearts. I'm gonna have Kingdom Hearts Union podcast in the background.
This is Mac, and then it just seems really interesting the way they've got it set up. Namor also says that because Galaxy Toys is the main location for this story, there's going to be many levels of Galaxy Toys. It's like a multi-floor toy store, and each floor has got its own style. So far we just saw the level that contained the Gygus mech toy, but there's going to be other levels, other areas in this toy store that we're going to explore. I would personally doubt that Gygus is probably the first level you meet. That might be a mid-boss or maybe like a late boss in that level, and there's probably some other things that we didn't see yet. Speaking of all this stuff,
Yeah, I'm just gonna move on to the next one. I don't really have enough Gate Zero medals to really do it in 25 seconds, so who cares?
A lot to take in. What did you guys think of Toy Story being announced, and what do you feel about what's been shown so far? How does it make you feel? Let's start with you, Chiro.
I think Toy Story was to be honest, it was a surprise because everybody was say betting Frozen or Marvel Star Wars.
Yeah.
So but everybody kind of forgot in Toy Story as one of the things that Marvel wanted really to put in, as evidenced by Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yep.
But I think it's a fresh, new look, towards selecting a new world to be put in. So I'm really glad that this was, put in, because I think Toy Story was a big request from a lot of different fans for many years.
Definitely. Sabby, what do you think about the designs of Sora, Donald, and Goofy in this world?
I was kind of intrigued just because, I guess they are more of, figurines, I guess, those action figure styles. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because, I was really interested to see what they would make them as, Stitch toys, how Woody is, he's, actually out of fabric, but it seems like he's made out of plastic.
Kind of Lego-ish.
Yeah, that's how I felt, not
Lego-ish.
like Bionics, but something else.
Yeah.
Lego minifigures-ish type of feel.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the look of them. I'm okay with them. My main beef with it is that with the toys in Toy Story, they're very clearly based off of real-world toys, and it's a little bit hard to gather what Sora, Donald, and Goofy are. They're kind of a very vague, it's kind of Lego-y, and it's kind of action figure-y. It's just not clear what they are. It just seems very vague, and low poly for some reason. I'm not sure why they're low poly, because being low poly is a problem for 3D animated things. For old school 3D stuff was low poly, but for toys you've got molds, injection molding. So even your cheapest knockoff toy, which I think they're trying to go for a cheap toy look, even your cheapest toy has rounded edges. If you go to the dollar store and buy a cheap army guy, he's not going to be made of blocky shapes. He's going to be a rounded guy that probably has some what they call flashing on the edges. That means stray bits of plastic that came off from the mold. That's why the green army guys, you'll look at their arm on the side, and there's little pieces of flat plastic that still flap out. That comes from molding. They're made cheaply so they can be made in bulk. So.
Oh, hey, sorry about that. I'm constantly getting interrupted here. Let me get this going again.
Specific style that isn't inspired by any specific toy or anything. So that's the thing. That's the main thing that rubs me the wrong way, is that they don't really look like a specific toy. They don't really look like toys to me at all. They just look like,
you know what?
very
They remind me of like, I don't know, what's those things? And those like socket punch things. You know how like you have to press to like punch the thing. That's what. Yeah. You like punch them. You have to uppercut them in the face to win.
Yeah,
that's what it kind of reminds me of right now.
They kind of look like that, but then their arms aren't like that. They're these weird lanky things.
Yeah, they're kind of bossy. But I don't know. They're kind of shiny as toys too.
Yeah, that much I'm fine with. Yeah, as far as the materials go, they sure do look like plastic, so that's good.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate that. I just personally would have wished that they would have gone with a more distinctive, more specific toy-inspired look.
Play as Kai figure look.
Yeah, I think what this design came from is they probably went more toy-esque, and then Nomura or somebody came back and was like, no, that looks too much like they normally do. It's got to look weirder. It's got to look something different. Like, it can't look like their normal model. And
yeah, because they could have done like Barbie dolls, right? Like,
yeah.
Barbie and Ken were in there.
Hell, there are toys for these games, and they, so I'm guessing they wanted it to be something that's far enough away from the original design so that you can tell they're not the same models, and you also have to be able to tell that they're not the same models from a distance, because for a lot of time, when you're not in cutscene, you're doing battles, so these characters are flying all over the place, so it's, you have to be able to, even from a distance, even when they're fighting and doing crazy things, you have to be able to recognize that they're toys. So I get that. I get the fact that they're supposed to look different from their real models, and I wouldn't fight them on that. It's just that I kind of feel that they just don't look like anything specific now. Now they just look like weird things that I don't even know what they are. So I kind of wish they would have taken a little bit more inspiration from from actual toys. I think another part of the difficulty is, so let's say hypothetically they go with something like Atlantica was back in the day, where Sora was a merman, just like all the mermaids were designed. So his design was pretty straightforward. Donald and Goofy, they got completely different designs. But the problem now is that, so the reason Sora has to kind of look like his Kingdom Hearts 3 outfit, which is, by the way, they're all designed to look like their Kingdom Hearts 3 outfits. So the reason why Sora looks that way is because, for mechanical reasons, he's got to transform whenever he does his Keyblade transformations. His clothes have to change. So for mechanical reasons, they really can't deviate too much from the original designs. So I understand it. It's just weird. Churro, what do you think of the models?
Man, like seeing that thing like up close like that looked kind of weird. It was just that's like, well, what happened to them, and then after a while you kind of get used to it. I mean, it still looks kind of weird, like especially how Sora is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem with Donald Goofy, but still looks kind of odd to me.
Yeah, Sora's a little odd. Now, I think here's a really important thing. Probably the most striking thing to me. Savvy, how do you feel about their faithfulness to Toy Story and how accurate they are to the movie? Like, how did that strike you when you first saw the toys appear?
Well, first when I saw the room, I was like, yo. And then I thought, did I win this bet with you guys? And I was like, I'm pretty sure I won this bet. I was very happy about that because I never win bets very well. And then I was like, oh my god, like the room itself was really well done. And then when you see Woody and everybody else, I was like, crap, man, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of like the collaboration with it, right?
Yeah. So
that they really focused on that more.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not just the models; it's also how they move, how they animate. Like, There's some really interesting shots of Woody just reacting to what Sora's saying to him, and he animates exactly like Pixar would animate him, like the way he feels. So, I mean, for a lot of people, they don't see the technical side of things. They just see these characters. So this is like, you know, they have to capture the spirit of Woody. Like, they have to make sure that he looks like Woody would act. How would Woody do? How would Woody react to Sora and what Sora's saying to him? And they took this with all the characters, and not just the characters, but like also the cinematography. So there's this one shot where Woody's like, "Oh, there is one thing," and then they do a sweep of the camera over to Ham. And he's like, "Yeah, there's that one thing," and then a sweep over to the army guy, and a sweep back to Buzz. Like, that's a very Pixar kind of camera move that they got going there, and I think that probably came about from their consultation meetings with Pixar, you know, over how they do things. So I'm pretty sure I said this in the past, that if they ever tackle Toy Story in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, I think that's going to be it for this video. I just don't have, you know, a lot of these medals that require me. I just don't have the good ones, especially for Lady Luck, the speed medals. I'm not good on speed medals anymore. So, I mean, look, I'm still using, what is it? I mean, still look, like my second most powerful speed medal is Illustrated Yuppie. I got this medal like a year ago when I first started playing this game, and I didn't really understand the mechanics. So I'm just decimated on speed medals. But anyways, enough for this video. Thanks for watching.